For those of you who are just joining us, I will be recording this session. So if you want to turn off your cameras so that you are not on it, feel free to. Otherwise, this should only last about 20 minutes, and then we should have time for questions and answers at the end of the presentation. So if you can just hold your questions until we'll have a commonly asked questions page at the end. And then if your questions still haven't been answered, then you can just send a chat message with your question. Okay. Let's get started. So welcome to our presentation on WOLF. My name is Miss Bear. I'm one of the teachers for this program, and my expertise, I guess, is the hiking, backpacking, survival skills kind of in progress.
And I am Courtney Reese and the other teacher. And I guess if I had to choose a side of the outdoor world that I would be more an expertise in, it's the firearms, archery, paddling, and then I, of course, love to hike too. But okay.
All right, so we'll kind of just start with talking about what is WOLF. So WOLF stands for Wonders of the Ozark Learning Facility, and it is considered a choice program for Springfield Public Schools, now one of the 5 that will be offered for next year. And when or if your student attends WOLF, it is considered their home school for their 5th grade year. Let's see, and then as far as what we teach here, we are considered a 5th grade classroom, so we teach all of the 5th grade standards, but we teach it through a lens of nature, outdoor education, and conservation, and we do just a lot of integrating those topics into the 5th grade curriculum. As far as knowing if this is the right choice program for your child, you can see we kind of put together a list of all things that might be a good clue that WOLF is right for your child. I'll give you a second just to kind of look through and read some of those things. And as you can see, really just if your child likes nature, if they like outdoor activities, they like to rough it, they're interested in learning how to help the environment and sustainability, then it's probably a good fit. And I think that's one thing we take seriously and really encourage is to make sure that if you apply for this program, that it is something that will really motivate your student, because we always see, the best fit really does make a difference for making it the best year for all students.
Okay, these are just some expectations that we would have for students coming in to WOLF, or maybe some ways for you to prepare if your child is selected, just to help them out come August. One thing would be, and this is kind of off the wall a little bit because it has nothing to do with the outdoors, but your child knowing their multiplication facts will really help them. Math is tough. 5th grade math is really tough, and it's definitely doable, but it is tough, and it's extra hard for the kids who are not fairly quick with their multiplication facts. So this is just like on an academic level, having them be able to reach their multiplication facts within 3 to 5 seconds accurately will just really boost their confidence in math. Another thing that we want kids to know and do is that they should be there 5 days a week. It's a pretty intensive program. It's very rigorous academically, and then at least one day a week, we're in the field doing outdoor activities that we have talked about in the classroom. So if your child is not present for some of the instruction that relates to our field experiences, it is possible that they would have to sit on the sidelines for that experience, because we can't risk safety. So if they're not there for safety instruction, they would maybe have to sit out. So it's really important that they have good attendance and that they be present. Getting outdoors over the summer is a great way to prepare your kids for wolf. It's a great thing to do anyway, but it will also get them rolling on their outdoor skills and their tolerance of outdoor activities. And then we really try to encourage people to appreciate the uniqueness and how special this opportunity is, and to consider it a commitment. It's really sad when we have kids come in and they say, well, I didn't really want to be here, my parents signed me up for it, or they only want to do some of the field experiences but not all of it. It's like, this is such a cool opportunity, and we really want our students to be all in. So please really talk this stuff over with your kid. And like, I don't know, you weren't all on here when I said this, but please don't sign up for these programs just because they're a program. Make sure that you enjoy the things that we do and that it would be a good fit for you. Otherwise, you could be taking the seat of a kid who would give anything to be in these programs and would have loved everything that we do. So just take that into consideration. Okay, a few other things to consider is that students are accountable for the same curriculum and standards as all fifth grade students. So just because they're at Wolf doesn't mean we don't do school. It's not all fun and games. It's not all field experiences. We do still teach the fifth grade standards. It's just very integrated with our outdoor education and conservation science. Time will be spent outdoors in all types of weather, exploring the area's parks and natural resources. Basically, if it's not dangerous weather, we'll probably go out in it. So make sure that your child is okay with being out in the rain, the snow, the heat, the humidity, the wind, whatever the case may be.
Just don't like that.
Wolf is their homeschool for the year, and they are expected to complete the school year in the program. So like I said before, it is a commitment, and we want you to treat it that way.
Tyler.
So, if you get accepted, this will be their homeschool. So it's not a pull-out program like Wings or anything like that. They will come 5 days a week. Parents are responsible for transportation to and from Wolf. At this time, the district has not been able to organize a way to provide transportation for our choice program students. That may be changing, but we don't know at this time. So for all intents and purposes, you would have to figure out a way to get your kid to and from school every day. Behavior or attendance problems could result in removal from the program. In my 8 years at Wolf, we've never removed a student from the program, but we do have a 3-strike system in place. So a first offense, and these would be serious offenses, is a consequence like missing a field experience. A second offense would be a conference with the family where we try to put some things in place to keep the student from being removed. And then a third strike is removal from the program. Okay, and then things you might think twice about if you're kind of borderline on the fence. You know, this program is a really great way to get your kids out of their comfort zone and for them to gain confidence and build really great life skills. But some of these things are a real issue for some people. So we just want to make you very aware of these things right here. You or your child, if you are opposed to firearms or hunting, it is a large part of our program. So in a typical year, we spend several field experience days out at the shooting range, and the year usually does culminate with a hunting trip. So and I teach the hunter ed curriculum, and they would leave hunter ed certified. So it's not all we do. We do a wide variety of outdoor skills, from naturalist things like birding and butterflies to firearms. But we want families to be very, very clear on the fact that we do handle and shoot firearms. If your child is opposed to being out in less than comfortable weather conditions, you might want to think twice. Some kids just cannot tolerate less than desirable weather. So if they just really whine and complain, if you think it's something that they can push through, it would be great for them to build some tolerance and some grit. But if you think it would really just ruin their life to have to sit out in the 100 degrees and humidity, or to be hiking in the snow, then just think twice. And then lastly, if you think that it would be an academic or even emotional disservice to your child to miss out on approximately 20% of seated class time, don't be confused. They're not missing out on 20% of their education. They're just missing out on 20% of seated class time, and not even missing out really. We're just in the field those days. So they're still learning, they're still doing. It's just not an academic day. It's a field day. So just know that most kids can compensate for this, and they figure it out, and the families are willing to help their student at home if they have to. But it is very rigorous, and we do move very fast and hard, and it's a very high level of work that we do. So be aware of that. And then also, we do not have a counselor or a nurse or even our principal on site. So if your child is accustomed to using the counselor or the nurse as an alternative to the classroom, if they have like some emotional issues that would maybe require that type of thing, we do not have that. We do offer sped services, so that is not an issue. But if your kid is used to going to see the counselor to talk it out or whatever, we don't have that opportunity for them.
Right. Hopefully some of you are saying, yes, this wolf program is perfect for my child. And if so, I'll talk to you about how to apply. So really the application process is pretty simple. There is an online application that you can go to for all choice programs, and you get to select, since there's several for 5th grade, you select the programs in order of preference and fill out the application. The deadline has been pushed back some compared to what it has been the last few years. So I think the application window is supposed to open today, but just with the weird year and everything that's been going on, the district has decided to give families a little bit more time. So right now the application will open on January 18th, and that window will close February 15th. So yeah, putting that date into your phone so you get a reminder and don't forget. So since it doesn't open today, might be a good idea. And then all students who apply will be entered into a drawing. 23 girls and 23 boys are usually selected for the program each year. I think Mrs. Reese is going to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, a lot of families would like to know what happens if somebody who is selected chooses to decline their position. And what happens is that they will just move down the list. So the next child who was on the list will get a phone call to see if they would like to fill the spot. And they will move down the list until all the spots are confirmed as filled. So you do not need to do anything. Once you apply, your name is in, and you will stay in the drawing until all of the spots are filled. And that could be a few weeks before school starts. It could be the day before school starts. It could be a few days after school starts. We will replace students up to about 2 weeks, but not much after that because we've already done so much by then. So there is still luck. So if you are not selected in this first round, don't lose hope. We actually do fill some spots even after school starts. So keep your fingers crossed. Oh, sorry, this is me too. Woo, it's been a long day. We, again, just make sure you put a reminder in your phone. Don't let January 18th come around and you've forgotten about the application window being moved. So January 18th to February 15th. March 12th, you will receive communication if you've been accepted into the program. And then in spring, probably April, we will have a meeting for the families who have been selected. And at that meeting, we'll go over like school supply lists and things that you would need to do over the summer to prepare for the school year. And then in August, we would have one more meeting where we'll talk school specifics.
Sorry.
Okay, and then we have our facts. School day is 7:45 to 2:45. Another bullet down there is before and after care. We do not have before school care. That has never been offered at Wolf. So 7:45 it is. And then we used to have prime time. That went away this year, but I'm not sure if that was just because it was this year. So we'll have to figure out after school care. We used to offer prime time and the students were bused to Sunshine Elementary. I don't know what that will look like next year. So just put that as a to be determined. Transportation, again, is your responsibility. So getting your child to and from school is up to you. We do have a lot of families that carpool, and that is something that we can work on figuring out in April. So, or at the spring meeting, assuming that it's in April. So just because you cannot drive your student doesn't mean that you can't get them to school. So don't let that be a deterrent. We can help you figure that out when the time comes. Cost, there is no cost specifically for Wolf. It is part of the public school program. If there are any costs involved, it would be school supplies and the extra gear that they would need for Wolf. But we encourage families not to buy back to school clothes and use that money to purchase gear like hiking boots. So there should really not be any extra costs for Wolf. Safety is something that people are concerned with, especially with the firearms and archery aspect of things. I am a certified hunter ed instructor. I am a certified basic archery instructor for the National Archery in the Schools program. Most of the field experiences that we do include people from MDC, the Watershed Committee, MSUs, parks and rec students. And this goes with volunteers too. We don't really need a lot of volunteer help from parents on field experiences because they are run by industry professionals in almost all cases. Miss Bear is Wilderness First Aid certified. We're both CPR certified. So safety is covered, and we have very, very high behavior standards and expectations because safety is first. There are some opportunities for parents to volunteer. A lot of times we ask for help providing food for our volunteers, but if you are used to being one of the parents who is up at the school making copies and helping out every day, that is not, we don't have opportunities like that at Wolf. So there are ways for you to help out, but just maybe differently than what you're used to. Wings, this is across the board with the choice programs. If you choose to participate in one of the choice programs, you cannot do wings for the 5th grade year. However, you can return in 6th grade without having to go through the testing process again. Lunch, school breakfast and lunch is offered at Wolf. It's provided by Parkview High School, but it is a very limited menu. So we have cereal, milk and cereal, and juice for breakfast, and then we have salads or sub sandwiches for lunch. Those are your lunch choices. We cannot provide hot lunches. Specials, we do offer all the same specials that a normal elementary would have. So we have PE, music, art, counselor, an hour a week, and then in a typical school year we also offer orchestra. Supplies, I kind of already covered that. You would have your basic school supplies, and then in addition to that, there are some specific things that we need for Wolf, like bug spray and hiking boots and band-aids and toilet paper. So just a few extra things that would be a little bit different. But again, you would get those details at the next spring meeting if you are one of those who's selected.
Right, and that is all the information we have for you. We have about 10 more minutes where we can do questions and answers. And then just a reminder, if you want to listen to other choice program presentations, there's one more going on. It'll start at 6 o'clock, and you can just go to the link on the screen to get to it. Also, if you joined late and want to stick around, we will be going through this one more time for everyone. So, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how much of your program is sort of naturalist oriented versus conservation and hunting. Is there a split there?
I would say it's about 50-50. We're very heavy on conservation all around, but conservation is a very large umbrella. So the hunting, the firearms, hunting, and archery is kind of like one side of it, and then we do lots of animal handling program. We have we have a master naturalist that is a guest speaker every single week. We birding, butterflies, trees, and IDing, and then there's the paddle sports and the caves. And so I think, Lauren, I don't know, do you think about 50-50?
Yeah, or I know it's just so all embedded. I mean,
yeah,
teaching, naturalist skills is kind of what we start with, to get them to observe and notice things and to learn about nature. And I feel like the firearms, it does take up more time just because of the safety of it. But as far as focus, I would say it's more heavily on the naturalist side of things, and even leading into sustainability, and which we cover second semester.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And then Courtney, this one might be a good one for you, asking what kind of firearms are used. Actually, I could list them now. I've been in the program long enough, but.
Sorry, my kids just got home. I'm trying to get the door shut. Yes, we start the year off. So we practice with the hunter ed firearms, which are inert. The firing pins are removed. So they actually get hands-on practice before we ever even go to the range. And so we start the year with 22s. And then they have during deer hunting season in November, they have the opportunity to shoot 243s and 223s. So a little bit of the higher power deer rifles. And then further into the fall, they get to shoot muzzle loaders, which is really cool. They shoot muzzle loaded rifles because we talk about that a lot in the history portion of our wolf stuff. So by the time we get to that point, they're like real excited about getting to shoot the old like Wild West guns. And then in the spring we start shooting shotguns, and they'll shoot 20 gauge shotguns.
that was all I had in our question board. So I think you're welcome to stick around for the remaining 5 minutes and send us a chat question or just ask it aloud. But otherwise, thank you for joining us tonight, and hopefully we will get to see some of you next year, or sooner than that, I guess. Bye.
Okay.
And yeah, if you're sticking around just to catch the front end of the presentation, that's great too. Oh, same question. How many students do you typically see apply to the program? Yeah, you know, we with more choice programs being offered, like AFPA open this year, and then next year they'll add the agri school. We're not quite sure how that will affect who's applying, but I think you know, there's 400-ish students who have applied. The last time I heard numbers, I think 300 to 500 seems like numbers I've heard before.
I forgot my glasses.
A second question, can we pack our own lunches? Yeah, students often choose to bring their own lunch for their wolf year, since all we can offer are sack lunches. So it's a good option. Yeah, for those of us just joining us, we were just wrapping up a Q&A session, and we'll begin our final presentation in like 2 or 3 minutes. And you're welcome to send a message in the chat.